In today's video, let's talk about the importance between two different pre-supported file types you can get from your favorite artist or anywhere. That's going to be the ones that end in .stl as a pre-supported file, or the ones that end in .lys, the best kind of all. And with that, let's get going. To look at the differences, first I need a figurine that's been pre-supported in Lychee Slicer. I'm going to use the Star-Lord figurine right here, professionally pre-supported by Bastet Figurines. It's a beautiful model with some really great supports. A lot of the models that I download have multiple folders. This one's no exception. And here there's three of them. There's the original models, the .stl unsupported. Then we have the supported ones, which right here, if we look at the file type, these are all .stl as well. We can see that just here in that column. And then this one has a LYS file. If I look that up, I can see the same name as the file, but it ends in .lys. So let's load up the body of the .lys. We'll just drag and drop that right into Lychee. And let's also go over here and grab the supported ones. Let's also just grab the body, but this one ends in .stl. The first kind of strange thing that I want to point out is actually the file size of these different file types. If I load up the original unsupported file, the torso, which is the same as the body, it's actually 28 megabytes just for that one 3D file. If I look at the one that's been supported, basically a .stl version, that body has actually raised up to 38 megabytes. Quite a size increase, and let's talk about later on why we're getting that size increase. However, if I look at the .lys version, which contains the body and the pre-supported files, that one is only 12.7 megabytes. So actually a reduction in file size in the pre-supported file. Something pretty cool to kind of keep an eye out for. So right here in the slicer, I've got the two files side by side, and at first glances, they might not look very different. Let's zoom on in and see how things really start to change. At first glance, these two chests look pretty identical, but if I click on one independently, pretty often with a pre-supported .stl file, which is the one here on the right, it says it wants to repair it. Never ever repair a pre-supported .stl file. It can definitely cause some issues, and they're okay just to print as they are. If we come over to the pre-supported .lys file, we can see here, this is where things are gonna get very, very different. The biggest thing we're gonna notice if I go over to the Prepare tab, we can actually select the chest differently from the supports. On the other one, you see how it's all blue, and here it's blue, and we got the yellow. That kind of tells us that we can actually go through and manipulate things. It's not all baked in. For example, if I click on this exterior button right here, I can actually see the inside of this model. And I can see there's actually quite a few interior supports that personally, I don't generally like these things, so I can actually come in here and edit this and just delete them if I want to. I can go over here and just make sure that I have some supports on these keys, and I can just click those through real quick, and voila, I can actually make changes to a .lys pre-supported file. If I click back on exterior, you can see everything's exactly the same, just a minor detail. I can even come into the raft, and if I want to choose a different raft, I can just click on it, and now I have a different raft. On this one over here, there's really not much I can do to it. I can try to add another support, but things are gonna get really weird. As I add a support, it's gonna want to find a path to somewhere. Right now, it's just gonna click onto the model, because as far as this thing is concerned, every part of this model is kind of a part of the model. The supports itself are just a part of the model. The raft is a part of the model. In fact, I could actually come in here and I could add a raft on top of it. And now I've got a raft on my raft. The reason being the raft is now a part of the model and not a part of Lychee Slicer's code base anymore. So really, as you can see here, we're quite limited in what we can do. And as maybe you noticed when I clicked on the interior exterior tab, the one on the right, nothing happened to it. Even though this model is hollowed, I can see that if I use the slider preview here and I move it up, let's turn that hollowing off. I can actually see inside this model. It has been hollowed, but that hollowing is a part of the geometry of the supports. And these holes right here from hollowing, they're actual holes in the file itself. They're not the hollowing holes like in here. With this one, I can actually click on these holes, and if I want to, I can adjust them, I can delete them, I can move them around, and I can slice this exactly as it is right here without converting those holes into geometry or anything like that. This thing is ready to go and can be manipulated where this one can't. So ultimately, in the end, the .lys, for many, many reasons, is the by far superior option for pre-supported files over the .stl. The .stl can still be very useful in certain scenarios and situations, but definitely if you've got access to the .lys, and even if you're using the Lychee Slicer free version, you can still get in there and print that thing as it is and even make minor adjustments even with the free version of Lychee Slicer. Because I like to add in something special in every video I make, I want to show you something that I doubt you've seen before, or very many of you have, and that is how nested objects actually work in a .stl file format. For that, I've loaded up Cinema 4D and I've thrown the chest in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna head over to a tool that allows me to select things based upon the polygon, and that is, let's say it holds water. And as you can see right here, the entire chest is selected, meaning the entire chest is one solid polygon, but nothing else is. And this is gonna make more sense if I grab this chest piece and actually move it out of the way. And as you can see, all the supports are kind of left over. And I can grab these supports themselves, and I can even grab them and move them out of the way, as supports within Lychee Slicer are actually just a bunch of primitive shapes kind of meshed together. You can actually manipulate each one of these individually. Now, you would never want to do this. I'm just doing this to kind of show you how 3D objects actually work within a .stl file format. They are just a bunch of singular basic shapes kind of pushed together. In fact, with something like this one, I could actually export just the chest right here without the supports. If for some reason I didn't have a version of the chests that wasn't pre-supported, I could pull it out right here. So this is something kind of fun and interesting about pre-supported files, especially those .stl files within Lychee Slicer, or really any program, as they all basically do the exact same thing. Another thing that's just kind of cool to show you while I'm here, and that is that baked in hollowing where those hollowing holes actually punched a hole through the model. To do that, I can actually just zoom in right through this hollowing hole. And if we zoom in, we keep zooming in, I'm actually now inside the object. I'm actually looking at the object from the inside outwards. And I can only do this again because this has got that baked in 3D hollowing, something that you only see in a pre-supported .stl file. And I think that's about everything for this topic, including a bit more. If you found this video entertaining or educational or fun or whatever, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. If you haven't joined us on the Lychee Slicer Discord, go do that now. And as always, thank you for watching and have a good day.